Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another trauma series episode. I don't know what to call the series, so sound off, let me know. But I'm thinking more travel trauma because these stories are traumatic, but also travel trouble because some of them aren't traumatic, they're just funny. I did the first episode earlier this year and I said I'd make it a series, so here is the follow-up. Sorry it's 8 months late. I planned to do it like once a month, but I didn't get around to it because I got a lot of other travel content, so I apologize, but you might not see the next one for a while, but I hopefully won't keep it 8 months. We'll try and do a better job. So today we're going to be talking about my time in Hue, Vietnam. Now, this was very much a very interesting thing. It wasn't very traumatic. Well, it was quite traumatic at the time of. So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory and in terms of mindset, so this is able to paint a picture and you're able to kind of get really into the zone. So with the pandemic and with 2020, so I traveled just before the pandemic hit and I came home because of the pandemic. Growing up, I was very stringent and my culture and my family was very much like one way and that's it, and working towards a career and then just staying in that career and all of that stuff. So over the last couple of years, I've deviated more and more into doing whatever the hell I want, and that kind of was birthed from a desire to be a bit bad and a bit going against the grain, but it transitioned into stuff like creative work and content creation, and that wasn't seen as feasible or like normal for someone to do. So that was one red flag for my family. But then I kind of just realized that I actually want to do stuff I enjoy in life and I don't want to just earn money and I want to live. And then I went and traveled, and then the pandemic hit and I lost some family members, and one of the family members that had passed away due to the situation was quite young, and it really hit me. So since then I've kind of really taken on board that idea of just live your life like it's the last day and just really enjoy your life. Do what the hell ever the hell you want, enjoy yourself. Who cares if you want to job hop? Like, do loads of different things on the side, have one main career. You want to travel, you want to see the world, that's all okay. Bearing in mind, I now have this very fleshed out, solid attitude. When I went to Hue in Vietnam, so my first stop was Bangkok. We then moved on to do Vietnam, and then we were going to circle back to finish Thailand, which we started to do at the end before we had to come home. So we moved from Bangkok to Vietnam. We did the top half, and then we worked our way down. Now, we ended up in Hue. I can't remember where we were before, but that's where we were going. We were going to because we wanted to see the abandoned water park in the Imperial City and all of that. There was quite a lot of stuff we wanted to do there. So the day we arrived pretty late, I think. We checked in and in a hostel. Still one of my favorite hostels I've ever stayed at, the Nana Eco Hostel. We went and explored the abandoned water park that evening. Now, there's a story for the abandoned water park which is not really that traumatic, but it's an abandoned water park and you're not allowed to visit. However, there are guards there that patrol that let you visit as if you pay them off, and there's some that don't and they kick you out. We came across, if you watch the video, I'll insert the footage here, but we came across a security guard and we saw him and we knew what the situation was, so we ran. Like, we were genuinely terrified that we were going to get kicked out or get in trouble. But he saw us running, and once he caught up to us, because I wasn't very fit, so it didn't last very long. But when he caught up to us, he kind of just laughed at us and just said it's fine, carry on, because I think he got his payment out of his amusement at us, which was kind of sad for us, but hey, it let us explore more. So we went and explored the abandoned water park, which is pretty cool, really fun. And then we came back to the hostel when we made some friends, and then we spent the evening with them, and then the next day we'd planned to go out and rent motorbikes together. So the next morning we were getting our bikes. Now, we were going to go and spend the day in the Imperial City and just explore. So I had a bike, my friend had a bike, and then the two other people that were with us had bikes as well. We had started to travel into the centre, and bear in mind, me and my friend had scootered in Along Bay. We'd scootered in Kappa, the island. So the roads were pretty empty, and in Hue it was very busy and there's a lot of people. Now, there is a big fat intersection that is like this and this, and it is chock-a-block. It is so busy, and we had to go from there and then turn around into that direction. Now, it was fine, but all my friends had gone and they'd done it successfully. However, I slowed down too much. You're meant to slow down anyway because you don't want to take a corner that fast on a motorbike, especially when you've only ridden it for like 3 days overall in the trip. I took it way too slow, and I took it too slow that my bike tipped. And I don't remember anything for about 10 seconds, 10-20 seconds, and then I looked down and the engine was still revving on the motorbike, and my leg was trapped underneath the motorbike, and I was trying to pull it out. Now bear in mind there's still people whizzing by. I couldn't move my leg, and the first thought I had was, I've lost my leg. And I couldn't feel it either. All I could see is the engine revving and the smoke coming out the back, and then just haze. And you know in films, you know in Moonlight, when one personality takes over the other and it's like that like transition, it felt like that, but like a weird disorientated phase. And then my friends stopped. I think my friend kind of screamed for me to kind of like alert everyone else. So bear in mind there was 4 of us. The other 3 had stopped and saw me, and because my friend had screamed. And then some Vietnamese man came over and helped me up and helped me get my bike, and he pushed my bike back, and I think my friend came over with him and helped me. I can't remember a lot of it. It's still very hazy. I think because the shock just overtook me, but the engine was still revving when my foot was under, and I just tried to like lift it up, and I tried to like just yank my leg out, and I know that's not what you should have done, but like I looked at my hands and stuff. Even now, like funny, most of the because I skidded on the ground, my knees and my hands and like a lot of me was like chafed up. My hands were really bad, and I felt sick every time I looked at my hands because they were just like scuffed up really bad, and loads of gravel was in it. It wasn't very nice sight. It was gross, and even now thinking about it makes me want to vomit. But at that point I was like, what the hell has happened? So I get over and they sit me down, and I'm just like shaking. I'm in shock. I think I was kind of laughing about it for a bit because I genuinely didn't know what had happened. I'd still ride a motorbike again. Like honestly, we'll do it again. Not the accident part, but yeah. Went over and sat down, and I had some drink and like whatever, and just calmed myself down, and then just like surveilled myself and just checked myself out, and then realized, oh no, this is bad. So my friends googled a hospital. So then me and my friend who I traveled with went to the hospital, and the other guys, we said just go and like enjoy your day, like we'll sort this out. I had travel insurance then, but another thing I've learned is that I don't like paying excess, so I've gone for travel insurance that I have to pay no excess. We go to the hospital. I've got a limp because I've twisted my ankle, and it's really hard to walk, and everything's swelling, and I'm bleeding a lot, and like I'm disorientated. Weird. Went to the hospital, got a 60 quid bill, which was also the amount of my excess, so I couldn't really claim anything back, which is why I now go for anything that has no excess. They started to clean my wounds after a bit. It was pretty intense. Like I was properly in like emergency care, and like it was their emergency care. Got seen pretty quickly. Props to them, thank you for that, but the bill was quite a lot for what I had. Basically they got rid of my gravel in my hand, and funny, I don't know if you can still tell, there is a little bit of gravel ever so slightly. Can you see? If you can see, there's a dark spot in my hand, I think there. Yeah, that's a bit of gravel that they never got out, and it's just sunk into my thing, so I have a little memory of it. I have like darkened skin patches here, can you see? Here and here, and then on my same thing on my leg. But I guess it's scuffs and scars of life, and I don't really, not that fussed about it, to be fair. But it was the worst experience ever, because they gave me stuff to numb my hand and take stuff out, but it still stung, and it just made me feel so icky and gross and disgusting. It was horrible. It was nasty. But we got that done, and we just sat and we paid. And then afterwards we were looking for a walking stick because I was really struggling to walk. We found a walking stick, and it was just a gag in our friend, like in the little friend circle there, that it was just I turned into an old man and I needed a walking stick, and it was a funny memory now I look back at it. But in the hospital, I think I rang my mum, and it was early in the morning in the UK, and just to tell her, just so she was aware, ringing her, and then just that moment afterwards, we'll get back to more of it, but just remember that bit, like just how you'd feel in that situation. We went and paid, we sorted everything out, we went and got a walking stick, and then we met everyone else up again. We went for lunch with them. We went to a museum afterwards, and then they were gonna go and shop and stuff like that for like drinks and stuff, so I said, you know what guys, you go and do that, I'm gonna go back. So I got a little grab back. Grabbed his Aruba, but I got a scooter, sat at the back of the scooter, and then got back to the hostel. And that is when it hit me. I was sitting there on my own and just taking pictures of my stuff to send to my mum, and I think then it started to dawn on me what had happened. And I was sitting there, and this lovely couple came over and saw that I was like on my own, and they were like, oh, like they just asked me what I was doing, like general hostel chit chat, and they bought me a beer. I bought them a beer later on in the evening because it's just a nice little thing to do, you know. reciprocate, look after people, be kind. But I think I started to well up quite a lot, and it was weird because I didn't, in the moment, even like a couple of hours after, I still didn't understand what happened. But I think just knowing that how busy that road was, and if someone hadn't come, I don't know how long I could have been under that bike, because that bike was heavy. But also the speed of people going around me, if someone had drove over my hand or potentially driven over my head, it was a situation where I could have caused more harm to myself. I sat there and I cried. I genuinely just started welling up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could have died today. And I think that further kind of hit me, and I was just like, do you know what? Do stuff like this. Maybe not get into the accidents, but do stuff you enjoy. Just live, because you are so close to potentially being in an even worse situation. Maybe not death, maybe something a little bit less extreme, but the thought of that terrified me. And I'm not someone who's scared of death. I'm very much like, when it's time, it's time. But when it hits you in the face, and I genuinely, like, you know when people always tell you like you see your whole life, I just saw bits and pieces of like my trip, and like when I was on the floor, I was like, my heart was beating so fast. I just saw bits and pieces of my life, and just like a lot of highlights I remember, just like seeing a run of memories that were good. And I think afterwards, when I sat down with myself in the quiet and just like let myself kind of just have the moment, it really hit me. And then I rang my mum again, and I was just like, I don't know how to feel, because that was a lot. It was a lot emotionally. And then my friends came back and we had a really nice evening. We stayed up till like 2 or 3, I don't remember how long we stayed up till. We had dinner, we had drinks, we just like laughed, we went to the pool. It was just a really nice vibe. It's quite scary, and it kind of further solidifies the idea that I'm just content doing what I want and enjoying my life and embracing my life, and being that person in the family that isn't tied down and kind of just bogs off whenever, disappears, is very free, very open, and I'm proud of myself for that. And I think that's just further kind of like added to that. Yeah, after Hue, we moved on pretty quickly. I think the day after my accident we left, because we'd only left ourselves a couple of days anyway to go there. And I think then we went to Da Nang, which was where the big golden hands are, I'm pretty sure. I cannot wait to go back and travel and finish my trip, because I miss it so much, and it was so much fun. But that is my run-in with death. That is my time where I nearly died. Could have gone anyway. Multiverse of madness, multiverse of motorbike-ness, who knows. I would recommend going. Absolutely lovely place. I would go again personally. Just don't fall off a motorbike and get trapped and get taken to hospital. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed engrossing yourself in my trauma in my little episode. I will see you hopefully for episode 3, the 3rd installment, whenever I get time to finish it, film it, edit it, upload it. There's quite a lot of content, travel content still to come. Till episode 3, till the next installment, take care. I will see you guys very, very soon.